What is going on, Silverhawks? Welcome to this week's NFL review. I'm Richie. Joining me, as always, is Chantz and Elgin. Guys, we had a great weekend of football. Last weekend, my Dolphins beat his Patriots. His Bills got the win on Thursday night, so we're all living large except for him over here. Let's get this week started with our Thursday night matchup between the Tennessee Titans and the Pittsburgh Steelers. This is probably my hardest game to pick of the week. I mean, both of these teams have different things going for them. Tennessee looked really good last week with Will Levis.
Will Levis?
Yeah, I think this is some highlights from their win from Will Levis. He threw 4 touchdowns in his debut in those really crispy Oilers jerseys. I'm going to go ahead and take Tennessee in this one in primetime.
I'm also going to take Tennessee. I know the Steelers have a very good record, and I mean, they're winning games they're supposed to, but the Tennessee Titans with Will Levis, man, giving me flashbacks to Tom Brady. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, missed those days. I'm going to take the Titans on this, because I think D-Hop and Will Levis are going to create a more big connection in this game. And I think this game will get Matt Canada fired. I know they're saying they're not going to fire him, but I think this game will get him fired. I think this game will get Matt Canada fired. I really don't. I think the Steelers are not going to score 10 points this game. I think this is going to be a blowout, not close. I think this game's a blowout alert. Titans.
Right.
Titans by 13.
I mean, we can't wait to see it. We did see a firing earlier this week. The Raiders cleared house. They got rid of Josh McDaniels, which is, I know a couple Raiders fans are very happy about that move. Speaking of an AFC West game, my Dolphins are taking on the Kansas City Chiefs, and this is a tough matchup. Miami looked really good last week against New England. I know over here, Elgin's going to talk about ref ball this, ref ball that. We take a look at Tua's performance from last week through 3 touchdowns. I mean, Kansas City has a good defense. They're a good team overall. Yeah, they lost to Denver last week, but I don't know. This is a great throw by Tua, by the way. But it hurts me to say this, but I think Kansas City's going to win. They're just top tier in the AFC.
I agree. I'm a Bills fan. I know I'm a Bills fan, and I should be biased. But looking at it, I see the Chiefs winning. How the Dolphins performed last week against the Patriots. I know the Bills did lose against the Patriots, but how they perform against the Patriots, I don't think they really have a chance against the Chiefs. And I think it'll be a close game, but more like 10-point difference. But yeah, I have the Chiefs in this one.
I have the Chiefs blowing the absolute door off the Dolphins. The Dolphins can't win without the refs. They have to beat a 2-win injury-riddled Patriots team with the help of the refs to win games now. That's pretty pathetic. I am taking the Chiefs by 13. Actually, 20. They're going to run the scoreboard. Tua's a fraud. He's a fraud. He's a fraud. He's a fraud.
Who's your quarterback?
Yeah.
He's a fraud. Tua's a fraud.
That fraud is, 6-0 against your legendary head coach? Against the team in the
Didn't you
future?
just extend him? He needs to get fired.
No, we just gave him $1 million.
We'll get that.
All right, so our next game, the Arizona Cardinals taking on the Cleveland Browns. The Cardinals are going to get Kyler Murray back this week. I did not expect to hear that.
Pick him up in fantasy, man.
They traded this man, Josh Dobbs, who I thought was doing a solid job. I mean, a one-win team is not the best, but I don't know. I think he did well with what he had, and I like Arizona. It's just they're playing one of the best teams in the league this year, one of the best defenses in the Cleveland Browns. Even though they lost, I think this is the best bounce-back game for Cleveland. I think they're going to take this one comfortably, about 13, 14 points.
Yeah, Cleveland. I think this is where Kyler Murray is going to show them why he was a first-round pick, why he's going to prove to them why he should still be a starter. Josh Dobbs, he did amazing. I hope he does well where he got traded to, but I have the Cardinals in this one, but 3 points.
Mm-hmm. I personally have the Browns. I think the Browns' defense is nuts. They are great defensively. The Cards, honestly, I think this could be a barn burner in scoring wise. I think this game could be a lot closer than it actually is. If Murray, I think this is a legacy game for Murray, but he doesn't come out with the win in this. I do have the Browns. I don't know if Watson's playing. Apparently, he's good to go. It's more of that he's not wanting to play. So I'm going to take the Browns by 2.5.
All right, well, that's going to be a good game. Cleveland has played some teams close this year. I mean, that Colts game was when everyone thought they should blow out Indianapolis.
Yeah.
And it was a pretty close game, one of the better games of the year. Our next game, we have the Bears taking on the Saints, the rematch of that Mitch Trubisky MVP game a couple years ago on Nickelodeon. So the Bears and the Saints, they just pulled off that trade for Montez Sweat, but they're still bottom barrel in the NFL right now. They did beat the Raiders a couple weeks ago, but that's the Raiders. That's Josh McDaniels. And this guy, Taysom Hill, has been playing really well, especially last week against Indianapolis and that come from behind victory. I'm going to go ahead and take the Saints. I think they're just better all around, and they're going to take this one.
I'm also going to take the Saints. You know, I see the Bears. They are improving. I'm happy they didn't get rid of Jalen Johnson, their star corner. You know, I want him to go to the Bills, but I'm happy they didn't get rid of him. And I see the Saints just blowing them out in this one. I don't think it's going to be close at all.
I actually have the Bears winning this game. I think the Bears are. I don't think the Saints are that good, even though my team lost to the Saints pretty bad. But I think the Bears. I think this game is going to go really well for the Bears. I think the Saints aren't that good. I really do believe that the Bears are going to absolutely blow the door. I think the Bears are going to blow them out.
Okay,
That's my opinion.
It's going to be an interesting game. I love those NFC matchups.
I like the prediction.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, speaking of NFC matchups, our next game coming from Green Bay with the Rams taking on the Packers. The Packers are just completely falling apart right now. I feel bad for all my Packers fans out there. This is a Rams team that also fell apart pretty bad last week. I mean, Dallas came in and put their foot down and absolutely destroyed them. Dak had 350 yards, and he even played in the fourth quarter. So
yeah,
I'm going to go ahead and take the Rams in this one. Even though they looked really bad last week, they're much better than the Packers. This is a bounce-back game. Nakua's been playing great. Go ahead.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. I mean, you look at the Rams, the Cowboys are Super Bowl contenders. I don't see the Rams being Super Bowl contenders. Yeah, we say it every year, they're America's team, whatever. So I see the Rams, they faced a very hard team. They didn't win. They didn't really show signs of proudness or goodness or whatever you want to say. So I see the Rams just blowing them out. I'm going to be honest with you.
I think this game, the Rams, I think the Rams are better than what their record says. I think the Rams have a great offense. Their defense, they show struggles. I think they just play very hard teams. They just got some unlucky.
Okay.
What was that for? I think the Packers are in shambles. Matt LaFleur is really being exposed recently. I think the Rams are going to blow the door off the Packers, but it's probably going to be a close game. I'll say Rams by 6.
Okay, I agree. It's going to be that one might be one of the closer ones out of the bunch, but Green Bay has struggled. I mean, they lost to Denver this year, and I don't know, they just all around not a good team this year. Our next game, the Vikings taking on the Falcons, the debut of Josh Dobbs in Minnesota. Kirk Cousins tore his Achilles on this play right here. I mean, it's heartbreaking. It has not been a great year for the Vikings, but they're back to 500. They got their record even. The NFC might be easier to sneak in the playoffs, especially when they would get Justin Jefferson back. But right now, this really hurts them, hurts their season. But they're taking on the Falcons, which are the most inconsistent team I've watched this year. They'll win one week, they'll be riding high, and then boom, they just fall. So I don't know. This one was also kind of harder to pick, but I'm going to go ahead and take the Falcons due to the fact that Minnesota. That's Falcons fans crying right now over this pick. But I'm going to go ahead and take the Vikings. I'm sorry, I'm going to go ahead and take the Falcons.
I'm going to take, I look at this team, the Vikings, yeah, they lost Kirk Cousins, and I agree with that. It's terrible, a star quarterback like that. I feel bad. But Joshua Dobbs, he may be not the best throwing, but he could run a ball. And I see the Vikings winning this one because the Falcons, they're so inconsistent right now. It's crazy. So I have the Vikings, but I at least 6.
This is my game. This is the hardest game for me to choose because I don't know if you guys know, Desmond Ritter's not playing this game. Taylor Heineke is starting this game.
That's true.
And Taylor Heineke looked great. He looked like his former self again. I'm going to take the Falcons by 1. And then I think the Vikings are still going to play some great ball. I think Joshua Dobbs is not that bad. He's just, dude's been treated like a whore in church.
What did you just say?
I think the Falcons take the dub here.
All right. He's being passed around. You could have said something like that. That was a wild analogy.
Wild take.
Our next game is going to be one of the better ones of the week between the Seattle Seahawks and the Baltimore Ravens. Two of the bird teams. Both of these teams looking really good.
Baltimore Ravens.
Oh, okay. I'm going to go ahead and take the Ravens in this one. This is our little preview for it. Both of these teams look good, but Lamar Jackson has been playing unreal football. Those Seahawks teams are clean, though. But I'm going to go ahead and take the Ravens by 10.
This is going to be an interesting game. Geno Smith, he hasn't been looking like last year's Geno Smith. I feel like this would be a good game to come back to because the Ravens are getting all this, they're supposed to be the next good team, like a Super Bowl contender again. So, I'm going to have the Seahawks by 3, but it's going to be a very interesting game.
Honestly, this game is going to be this game is pretty hard. I think this game is going to be low scoring. I don't think this game is going to be a barn burner as people think it might be. I believe that the Ravens will pull out the dub in the last final seconds. The Seahawks, they're pretty good. I just think the Ravens. Oh, shut up! I have the best knowledge at this table.
Oh, do you? You said the Patriots would beat us last week. I want to hear that.
We don't talk about
that. I don't want to hear that.
I believe the Ravens are going to get the dub here. I believe the Ravens are going to get the dub here, and I think that the final score will be 10-7 Ravens.
I'm sorry.
Our next game is going to be between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Houston Texans. I mean, we talked about C.J. Stroud last week looking like one of the best rookies out there. They lost last week to Carolina, gave Carolina their first win. Tampa Bay almost pulled off with this play a win against Buffalo. It was Chris Godwin in crowded time.
There's no flag. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
I could have seen a penalty
clean,
there.
Clean.
But the Buccaneers, I feel like they're a little bit more well-rounded than Houston right now. Houston's the kind of team that wins the games they're supposed to lose, loses the game they're supposed to win. I'm going to take the Buccaneers in this one. Very close, game-winning field goal kind of situation.
I'm going to take the Bucs as well. You know, C.J. Stroud is amazing. I'm just going to point out the facts. He's amazing. He looks like a fantastic quarterback. Bryce Young did show why he was the #1 overall pick. I'm not going to lie. But C.J. Stroud is still doing really good. And the Buccaneers, you know, they didn't beat us, but it was a close game or close enough. And, you know, it wasn't a flag, guys. You know, towards the last play, you never call a flag on us. It's just how it comes.
Same happened with the Giants game.
I think the Bucs are the most inconsistent team this year. Like, Baker Mayfield's playing like Jesus one day, and then he's playing like Carolina. Like, he's playing like, I don't know, like the drunk Jesus you see.
Yeah, we
Christmas.
need that sound again. Thank you.
But personally, I'm going to take the Bucs on this. Definitely agreeing with Richie on this. The game-winning field goal type situation. C.J. Stroud's playing great ball. I think this game will be a barn burner, and I believe the Bucs will take it.
All right, our next game, the Washington Commanders are in New England playing the losing streak New England Patriots, who just lost to the Miami Dolphins. We showed some highlights from that game earlier. We're going to go ahead and take a look at a dagger touchdown. How do you leave Jalen Waddle wide open?
Yeah, like there's nobody around. Were you guys
that?
sleeping? Like I couldn't. I don't know what's happening.
If I'm New England, I'm kind of worried about this week. Sam Howell went out and looked really good last week in that near win against Philadelphia. I'm going to go ahead and take New England here. I mean, I don't want to, but I think just the football knowledge, I think they're going to go ahead and beat Washington. It's going to be very close, and it might be, down to the wire, but I'm going to go ahead and take New England if they're on their game. But they did have some key injuries last week, so this one is a toss-up for me, but I'm going to go ahead and take New England.
Commanders by at least, I'd say 17. It's going to be a crazy blowout. The Commanders looked way too good, and they beat the Philadelphia Eagles. I know you guys beat us, and I think we could beat the Eagles, but like I said, I don't see the Pats coming close to this one.
Here we go.
The Pats are going to blow the door out the Commanders. Mac Jones, legacy game. I know I said he was going to have a legacy game last week, but I didn't know the refs were going to come into town and be the MVP of the Dolphins team. I didn't know that. So the Dolphins suck. The Bills suck. We own the A's. Shut up!
Laugh at him.
Shut up! We're going to beat the Commanders. We're going, you know what? We're not losing a single game after. We're not losing a single game after this season.
Right,
we're going to blow out the Commanders. I'm not done. I think the Commanders suck. They're terrible.
Hey,
Shut up!
Where's that Miami hat?
Where's that Miami hat? We'll get it next week. But guess what? Miami doesn't deserve to beat us. They didn't deserve anything.
All right.
They don't deserve anything.
All right, Grandpa.
I stand by my point.
Let's get you back to your room, Grandpa. All right. Next up on this Sunday slate, the Colts and the Panthers. This is going to be a solid one, two of the blue teams. The Colts are coming off a loss last week. The Panthers are coming off their first win last week. This will be a very interesting one. It should have been Richardson versus Young, a great rookie quarterback matchup. Instead, we don't get Richardson. We get Minshew Mania. And I think the Colts are going to take this one relatively easily. I'm going to get the Colts by 10, 17 points.
That was a good nickname. I like that. I'm going to see a little – the Colts look good. Even with the backup quarterback, they look good, and I think they're going to be looking good. But I feel like the Panthers are just going to go on a weird winning streak. It happens to every team. Not every team, but it happens to a team every year. And I feel like this is going to be the team that wins 4 or 5 random games.
Go ahead, Elgin. Let's see if you're calm down after that little outburst.
Deep breaths.
Okay. I believe Minshew Mania. I swear to God, I believe Minshew Mania is going to go crazy here. Minshew Mania all the way. I think the Panthers suck. They're terrible. They're garbage. That win, I don't know how they won that game. I believe
He's having flashbacks, guys.
the Colts are gonna win this game. I'm gonna say comfortably 14-17. Colts win. Minshew is gonna have a great game.
All right, next up is my pick for game of the week. We have the Dallas Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles. And this is going to be a good game. You can't look at me and say this isn't going to be a good game.
Bengals?
Bengals, DeMar Hamlin part 2. We'll get to that in a second. Let's take a look at it.
Oh, God.
Eagles wide receiver on this Eagles team is coming off a win. Our Squawk Talk host, Sonny, one of the biggest Eagles fans out there. Shout out, Sonny. They're taking on their biggest rivals, the Dallas Cowboys, who looked amazing last week. I'm going to go ahead and give this one to Philly. Philly looked good last week. It was close. They looked good against Miami. They've looked good in all their games this year. I'm going to go ahead and take the Eagles.
I'm gonna have the Cowboys. You know, the Cowboys. You know, even though they didn't face such a good team, I think the Cowboys are going away with this. The Eagles, they're winning games they're supposed to, but not by much. You know, they look good, but some of the play, like if AJ Brown did not go off that game and catch a one-handed catch, he's not winning it. So I don't see him coming close.
I have them dirty birds taking the dub. I hate the Cowboys. Screw the damn boys. It's our year. It's our year. It's our year. The Cowboys stink. They're frauds. Just like the Bills, the Dolphins, they're frauds. Fraudulent. They should be arrested for all this fraud.
Do you remember the last time?
Shut up! I'm not talking to you. The Cowboys are going to get blown out. The Eagles are going to destroy the Cowboys. I got the Eagles 35, Cowboys 17. Lock it in.
Elgin said, "Screw the boys." That's his favorite activity on Tuesday afternoon.
Shut up.
Next up, the Giants are taking on the Raiders. Our first look at the Raiders without Josh McDaniels. They're starting Aiden McConnell, the Derek Carr lookalike with the mustache. This is going to be a close game, kind of. The Giants looked really bad last week. I think the Raiders take this one comfortably. Devontae Adams is going to get his bounce back. I love that stadium that they play in. No more Josh McDaniels is going to be a good sign. The Raiders team is a roster that can compete, in my opinion. And they were being held back by their coach. I mean, I'm not saying they're a top threat in the AFC, but I think enough to beat the Giants comfortably.
You know, I was very upset that they didn't trade Devontae Adams. You know, I got a lot of rumors that he was going to be a Bill, and I was excited. But besides the point, I see the Raiders taking this. You know, there's been, I forgot what team exactly, but last year I know a team fired their coach and then they went on like a 2 or 3 game winning streak. And so I just see this again, and plus the Giants don't look good at all.
I think this is going to be a punt off. Punters are going to be the MVP of this game. I think this game is going to be very low scoring. This game might go into overtime. The Giants are terrible. The Raiders are terrible. Hey, Josh McDaniels, come home, please. Joshy boy, come home, please. We need you. And I think the Giants get the dub here slightly. Honestly, this game can go either way. They both suck terribly. So I take the Giants on this.
All right. Well, it's gonna be the toilet bowl of the week, in my opinion. You have your Super Bowl, then you have your toilet bowl. Yes, the lolcow. All right. Next up, Bills versus Bengals in Cincinnati. This one is bad flashbacks to last year's Monday night game as we see the incident here. Number 3, DeMar Hamlin suffered a heart attack on the field. It was very scary. That game was, bound to be a great one, bound to be fireworks. But this year it's going to be different. I think Cincinnati's on their stuff this year. They're coming off a very comfortable win against Cincinnati. Buffalo's lost to teams that they should beat this year. They beat the good teams, but they've lost to some bad teams as well. I'm going to go ahead and take Cincinnati.
You know, a lot of people were saying the same thing when we were facing Miami. You know, that Miami was always on their stuff. They scored 70 the week before, and look what happened. So I'm not going to say much. All I'm going to say is that the Bills just traded for a CB2. Our defense is just starting to get back online after losing Matt Milano forever and freaking Daquan Jones for out for the year. So I think it's going to be a shootout. I think it's going to be an offensive battle. But I have the Bills, and we got Leonard Fournette. I don't know if you
that is true. That's true.
So I have the Bills at least winning by
2017,
3.
bud.
It's not 2017. That was a good one.
I have the Bengals.
Playoff Lenny, baby.
Playoff Lenny. It ain't 2017, buddy. And he ain't a Buccaneer. So I have the Bengals taking the dub here. Joe Burrow's gonna go off this game. Stop making those noises when I'm talking.
You see how they make that noises? Because you're wrong.
No, I'm not wrong. The Bengals are gonna blow the door off this garbage, fraudulent Bills team. Josh Allen is nobody without Stephon Diggs. Josh Allen's a fraud. He's a fraud. Look at me in the camera zoom in. I am right. The Bills suck. They suck.
So what's your record?
S-U-C-K.
What's your record?
Suck.
What's your record?
I'm not talking to you.
Who'd you just list to?
Guess what? This game's going to end up, you know what? Damar Hamlin might die this game too.
Oh my God.
That's how bad Damar Hamlin's going to have a heart attack about how bad this Bills team is. The Bengals are going to get the W this week.
We're going to have to
Calling
cut
it
that
lock
out.
of the week. Bengals blow out the Bills. I'm telling you, I'm right.
All right,
You look like you're going to cry.
we need to get Elgin somewhere after this. Congratulations on the hot dog eating contest, by the way.
Oh,
bro.
thank you. Thank you.
At least you can win something.
Oh, shut up.
Our final game of the week, the Monday Nighter between the LA Chargers and the New York Jets. Why this one is a Monday Nighter, I don't get. I mean, it has some potential to be fun. Both teams over 500. The Jets beat the Giants last week. There's Robert Saleh. He's turning this team around. It's going to be another Zach Wilson game. Zach Wilson's not that guy. I mean, he showed flashes, but he's not consistent. He's just not at all. I don't think they're going to have any answers for the Chargers. Their defense might slow them down, but I'm going to go ahead and take the Chargers 30-10 in this one.
You know, I know we're talking about the game, but have you seen Aaron Rodgers? Dude's already throwing again.
Yeah, no, I'm scared.
He's acting like he's going to come back before the season's over, and it's going to be insane. You know, all right, talking about the game, I don't see how the Jets win this one. I'm going to be realistic. You know, they have the pieces, but without a star quarterback, you can't win against a team like the Chargers. I had the Chargers at least winning by 10 points again.
You know what? Screw the damn Jets. The Jets freaking suck. I'm taking the Chargers by 20, 30 points. I think Zach Wilson's terrible. I don't care how good. I don't care. Jets fans. Oh, he needs time. He needs time. He needs time. No, he doesn't. He sucks.
What happened to Mac Jones?
Shut up. I'm not talking to you.
Yeah, doesn't
Shut
Mac Jones need time?
Does he need
How
time?
much time does Mac Jones
Oh,
need?
who's their other quarterback? Does he need time
Jets
too?
are going to lose.
Bailey Zappi?
Everyone in the AFC East except for the Patriots are frauds. Fraudulent.
All right.
The Chargers are going to take the dub. I'm not done. The Chargers are going to take the dub.
How are you guys not
30
frauds if
damn
you
points.
lost?
Shut up.
You lost to
All right.
Miami.
I
All right,
don't care.
guys, we're going to go get Elgin his nap. He's getting cranky on
He needs his-
Thank
he
you
needs
guys
his-
so much
The
for
Chargers
listening.
are going to blow the
Thank
door
you,
out the
Chantz,
Jets.
for joining
The
us
Chiefs
as
are going to blow.
always. Thank you, Elgin. We're gonna go ahead and get out of
The
here.
freaking
Tune in
Bills are
next
going to
week
lose.
Bye, guys.
The
for our
Patriots are going to be the
report.
only
He'll be wearing
AFC East
Patriots
team
hat.
out victorious. Listen to me.
All right, see you guys.
Bye.